Ladies and gentlemen, the program is going to start. I wanted to first introduce myself. I am going to be your mistress of ceremonies. My name is Alex Bozarjian, and I'm a reporter with WXYZ Channel 7. Welcome, everybody. Now, I wanted to welcome everybody to this very, very special 11th annual Fight for Justice Gala. I'm so excited to be back for a second year. I remember the last time I was on this stage, I introduced myself as an ally to the Arab American community, but this year I feel a lot more like a sister, and that's because of all of you. You've welcomed me into your homes, whether it be via a television screen or quite literally to tell your stories, and you have trusted me to represent the community fairly, accurately, and I am forever grateful for that. But tonight we will commemorate the ACRL, born of the need to fight injustice and discrimination against Arab American and Muslim communities, and we celebrate the amazing accomplishments of these communities. And we'll also honor 4 individuals that have tremendously accomplished so much and contributed so much to our local and state community. Now, we will also pay tribute to someone who has long been an advocate for equality and fairness in Congress. The Arab American Civil Rights League has come a long way in the past 11 years, a long way in providing valuable legal services and defenses in the civil rights arena, and a long way in its role as an advocate for the Arab American community. And we'll get into all of that very shortly. Now, in your tables, there are 3 QR codes. This is not a cocktail menu or a dinner menu, but it is a way to learn a lot more about the Arab American Civil Rights League, and best of all, to donate. That's important. Now, the ACRL board has put together an evening of celebration and awards, and it is an organization that has so very much to be proud of, and as this program goes on, you'll understand, just how much they've accomplished. But right now, we're going to start with the national anthem. I want to invite Maria Saad. She is a 10th grader at Fordson High School, and she's going to sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That was beautiful. That was really beautiful. Now up next, I think we have a video. I'm going to have everybody please turn their attention to the monitors so you can truly understand why we are celebrating the ACRL tonight.
Thank you for joining us for the ACRL 11th Annual Fight for Justice Gala. The ACRL proudly stands with you as we protect and promote the civil rights of all Americans. Over the past 11 years, the ACRL has remained persistent in its tireless advocacy and dedication to our constituents and our Constitution. In promoting awareness and dispelling negative stereotypes, the ACRL works with federal, state, and local authorities to educate, develop, and promote equitable policies and effective governance. The ACRL serves to ensure equal representation in government and in the private sector while investigating and combating defamation, harassment, and discriminatory material on the internet and in other forms of media. The ACRL stood alongside civil and public leaders in the city of Lansing to protect the people's fundamental right to vote without fear or intimidation. Over the years, the ACRL brought 2 class action lawsuits against the Terrorist Screening Center for wrongfully placing thousands of Arab Americans and Muslim Americans on the no-fly list and the watch list. Law-abiding citizens who are wrongfully placed on these lists are often subjected to removal from travel lines, hours of interrogation, humiliation, and frivolous questioning each time they attempt to travel. In addition, the ACRL continues to advocate on behalf of community members who have had their bank accounts abruptly closed without justification or transparency of process. Today, multiple banking institutions have partnered with the ACRL and streamlined their operations to prevent discriminatory closures. After success in the U.S. Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals, the ACRL made effective changes to the law as it pertains to the no-fly list and disproportionate bank closures throughout the region. The ACRL continues to litigate in court while working with our congressional delegates and federal government to promote the establishment of a more transparent process that would effectively protect our nation without compromising the rights and livelihood of thousands of innocent law-abiding citizens. The ACRL has advocated for the rights of individuals ranging from unwarranted charges to unlawful detention and discrimination. Throughout the years, the ACRL has represented hundreds of victims of harmful discriminatory practices of all ages and in various establishments. In schools, in communities, in courts, in corporations, on issues impacting our country, the ACRL continues to work for you and advocates to uphold the Constitution for all people. With your support, we will continue to protect the civil rights of all Americans and promote due process and equal protection under the law.
Now, the next woman I'm going to introduce is a personal friend of mine. She's a beautiful human being. Spend 10 minutes with her, and you feel seen and you feel validated. Since becoming executive director, Maryam Sharara has been a tireless advocate for those who feel like the world has forgotten them. She has been fighting, whether it be against discrimination in the workplace or bringing awareness to the mental health crisis that's plaguing our communities. Maryam is a social worker by profession and an outspoken civil rights activist. I would now like to call up ACRL Executive Director, Maryam Sharara.
Okay, let's move this. I'm a little short. Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and members of the Arab American Civil Rights League. As the executive director of the ACRL, it is my privilege to welcome you here tonight. My name is Miriam Sharara, and I am deeply committed to the work of promoting civil rights and social justice in our community. Growing up, my family experienced firsthand the challenges that Arab Americans face in this country. However, we were fortunate enough to have a community that rallied around us in support. It is because of that experience that I am honored to serve as Executive Director of the Arab American Civil Rights League. I am grateful for the opportunity to give back to this community that has done so much for me and my family. It is my hope that through our work together, we can continue the legacy of this incredible organization and make it a meaningful difference in the lives of those who need it most. I want to take a moment to recognize and thank all of our guests who are in attendance tonight. There are so many community-led organizations, public officials, and community members of different faiths all gathered here, united in our shared belief in the cause for justice. Your presence here tonight is a testament to your commitment to making a positive impact in our community. It is a reminder that we are all in this together, and that we must work hand in hand to overcome the challenges that we face. I want to express my gratitude for your support and for your willingness to stand with us as we continue to fight for social justice. Your presence here tonight is a source of inspiration and a reminder that we together can achieve great things. I am also proud of my hometown, the largest concentration of Muslims and Arabs in the country that is so diverse and well-respected. When the call for action and positive change goes out, we're all in. This is a beautiful community that welcomes all walks of faith, all walks of life, and stands firm in the face of injustice for all people. Let's stand together as we continue to move forward with confidence, to stand up in the face of injustice, to create meaningful and positive change for humanity. That's our mission at ACRL, to uplift those who have been unjustly wronged and fight for their rights. We believe in advocating for our community and standing up for what is right. This annual event highlights major civil rights issues in our community while acknowledging excellence in community service and social justice. Tonight, we have gathered to honor and recognize the remarkable achievements of individuals who have made an impact in our community. We celebrate those who have worked tirelessly to promote civil rights, social justice, and equal opportunity. These individuals are exemplify the spirit of ACRL and have made a significant contribution to our mission. I want to take a moment to express my gratitude to Mr. Nabih Ayad, the founder of ACRL. Absolutely. He has always believed in me and has been a mentor and a friend. I wouldn't be standing here today without his unwavering support. I also want to thank the chairman of ACRL, Nasser Beydoun, for his commitment to serving others. His tireless efforts have been instrumental in shaping our organization into what it is today. In addition to recognizing the accomplishments of our community leaders, we must also acknowledge the challenges that lie ahead. We live in a world where Arab Americans continue to face discrimination and hate. Our community continues to experience the impact of policies that threaten our human rights, and the threat of deportation hangs over our heads. But I am confident that with your support and our community support and our allies, we will overcome these challenges. We will continue to fight for social justice and human rights. We will continue to advocate for policies that protect the rights of all Arab Americans, regardless of their religion or background. I would like to acknowledge and express my heartfelt gratitude to the distinguished members of our board. Your unwavering support, your guidance, your leadership have been invaluable to the success of ACRL. Thank you for your selfless service and for your commitment to making a positive impact in those lives that have been marginalized and oppressed. But before I conclude, the most important part to me, I would like to acknowledge my mother, Ada Murhi, for always believing in me and pushing me to be the best that I can be. I owe it to her for inspiring me to never back down, to seek justice and be the voice for the voiceless. In closing, I want to reiterate, together we make a difference in the lives of those who have been unjustly targeted and marginalized. We must stand up for what is right and fight against hate and bigotry. With your continued support, we will continue to build a better world for all of us. Thank you again, and I wish you all a wonderful evening.
This organization's work is made possible by the generous support of the community. Now, on behalf of ACRL, I want to acknowledge the extraordinary underwriters that helped make this event possible. This year, ACRL is proud to have 2 underwriters for tonight's dinner. Team Wellness Center has been a longtime supporter of ACRL. They are a Detroit-based comprehensive provider, give it up, provider of the mental health services. The center's Southeastern Michigan clinics offer psychiatry, primary care, social work, housing, employment assistance, and more. Because it recognizes the importance of raising awareness, Team Wellness Center also sponsors My Healthy Mind, a weekly 30-minute television show that features special guests to talk about a variety of difficult issues that affect both people's mental and physical health. Now, please direct your attention to the screen for a short clip.
Psychiatric crisis had very few options. Basically, they could be taken to a hospital emergency room and inpatient treatment, or to jail. But now, there's a better way. Team Wellness Psychiatric Urgent Care Center of Metro Detroit, an official certified community behavioral health clinic. What this means is that now, people experiencing any kind of mental health or substance abuse crisis can be taken immediately and directly into treatment at our safe, certified crisis stabilization unit, to be immediately assessed, stabilized, and triaged by our team of intake medical doctors and psychiatrists, to undergo intensive psychiatric therapy for up to 23 hours in one of our private or semi-private rooms, to be fully evaluated for short-term care and given a warm handoff into proper ongoing treatment, and to receive continuing long-term clinical and peer support services based on a thorough, thoughtful discharge plan drawn up case by case. For those in the throes of a substance abuse crisis, our response would be the effective, evidence-based practice for treating substance abuse, including Suboxone. In cases of attempted suicide, certified suicide prevention specialists are on call, and our mobile crisis response team ready for dispatch. In any mental health emergency, our Psych Urgent Care unit is open 24/7 to receive and treat those in crisis. And in all these cases, law enforcement can bring subjects to Team Wellness to divert from jail or the emergency room. This kind of direct access will save time and save lives. Team Wellness Psychiatric Urgent Care. Certified, safe.
ACRL remains on the forefront of major civil rights issues, including being a strong advocate for immigrant communities, criminal justice reform, as well as representing the rights of our community with local, state, and federal government. Our next speaker needs no introduction, but we're going to give him one anyways. In addition to being a successful businessman and community leader, Nassar Beydoun is a longtime civil rights advocate. For more than 2 decades, Nassar has been a fierce advocate for economic opportunity and civil rights, calling out injustice wherever it exits while engaging with law enforcement to better serve and protect the community. He's known for building coalitions that promote understanding and bring people together to work towards common goals and benefit all involved. Since 2015, Nassar has led the ACRL. Understanding the connection between economic opportunity and racial injustice, Nassar has worked to bring revitalization and community development to underserved areas in Metro Detroit. While supporting entrepreneurs of all backgrounds, he believes any person can be successful if they're given an opportunity. And if that's not enough, he recently announced the formation of exploratory committee to run for U.S. Senate in 2024. He's doing big things, and you're going to hear about it in the coming days. Now please welcome Nassar Beydoun.
Thank you, Alex, and welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, friends. I wasn't going to tell a joke, but Judge McCarthy says if I don't tell a joke, she'll hold me in contempt of court. It's a good one. So this boy goes up to his father, and he goes, "Dad, what's the definition of democracy?" So the father thinks about it. He goes, "Son, let me explain it to you this way. I make all the money in the house, so I'm the capitalist. Your mother takes all the money, so she's the government. We take care of you, so you're the people. Your baby brother, he's the future, and the nanny is the working class." Do you understand? Kid didn't understand anything. So he went to bed. In the middle of the night, he hears his brother crying because he soiled his pants. So he gets up and he goes to wake up his mother. And the mother wouldn't wake up. He goes to find his father, and he sees that his father's making love to the nanny. So the kid gives up and goes to bed. He wakes up the next morning and he goes, "Dad, I realize what the definition of democracy is." And he goes, "All right, son, tell me, what is it?" He goes, "Well, when the government's asleep, the capitalists will screw the working class, ignore the public, and the future goes to crap." Is that okay, Judge? Good evening and welcome. I welcome you to the 11th Annual Fight for Justice Gala Dinner. This organization, this banquet, the work we do, would not be possible without your support. Thank you. I have the privilege of working with a dedicated and committed group of people on the ACRL board. I would like to recognize and thank them for their support and dedication to ACRL. I ask them to please stand up and be recognized. I would also like to thank our executive director, Maryam Shrada. I think she hasn't slept in 2 days. And of course, this dinner would not be possible without our sponsors. Thank you for your generous support. I would like to welcome and congratulate our awardees. We will hear more about them and from them later. Everyone here is important and a dignitary. However, I wanted to welcome my good friend, Paul Abadi, the Deputy Director of the FBI, who is joining us tonight all the way from DC. Thank you, Paul. Thanks for coming. Welcome home. As a community, our growth and success has always been built on the backs of those who laid the foundation. One of these people was James George Aburizit. Senator Aburizit served as a United States Senator and United States Representative for one term each from South Dakota from 1973 to 1979, and was the first Arab American to serve in the U.S. Senate. He was also the founder of the American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee, the ADC. He was the first Greek Orthodox Christian of Lebanese descent to serve in the U.S. Senate. He was seen as generally critical of U.S. policy, particularly regarding the Palestinian and Israeli issue. He was also the author of the Indian Child Welfare Act, passed by Congress in 1978. to try to preserve Native American families and tribal culture. The irony is that a Lebanese senator, American senator, was one of the Senate's strongest voice on Native American heritage and culture. It was Senator Aburizek that laid the groundwork for our community to fight for its rights and make many of the advancements that we see today. Senator Aburizek passed away last month at the age of 92. So please join me in a moment of silence for him. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere." Senator Aburizek taught us that when we fight against injustice, we fight against injustice for everyone, not just our community. That is why we proudly stand by our brothers and sisters in the African American community, in the Hispanic community, in the Asian community, and anywhere people are fighting for freedom, equality, hope, and opportunity. However, today, despite the progress we've made, injustice and intolerance is still widespread. Hatred continues to flourish. The extreme polarization is tearing our country apart. We witness bigotry and intolerance fueled by misinformation that is pitting neighbor against neighbor. We have a greatly divided America that is struggling to live up to its loftiest ideas of liberty and justice for all. To overcome this, we need to strengthen the bonds that built this great nation. Our diversity is what holds the American tapestry together. We are all part of this great American experiment. We must come together and embrace diversity, dialogue, and understanding, to support each other and to stand united against those who want an America of walls, deportation, exclusion, and discrimination. To fight together against the bigotry that is again rearing its ugly head and ensure that our America is one that offers opportunity and equality to all. I came to this country as a young child from Lebanon. My immigrant father found a good-paying UAW job at Ford Wayne Assembly, factory making trucks. He woke up every day at 5 a.m. determined to create a better life for his family. Each shift, he and his co-workers assembled cars on the factory floor. One bumper, one windshield, one wheel at a time. It was tough work. It took a toll on his body, but he did it with immense pride, intense pride. It meant so much to him because my father wasn't just building cars. He was building our American dream. That work allowed me to experience some of the best things this country has to offer. It gave me a good public education, provided me the opportunity to grow in a good community with the resources to start businesses and create opportunity. It allowed me the freedom to explore my talents. It supported me through failure and allowed me to succeed through hard work and determination. It allowed America to become my beloved home. The America I know, my America, can lead the world in innovation, education, and freedom. It can serve as a beacon of light and hope for people all around the world. I believe that my America is your America. It's our America. America has proven time and again, if you give us the education and opportunity, we will produce greatness like the world has never seen. If you unite us, there isn't a problem we can't solve. Amazingly, we've done this with many, many fellow Americans still excluded from the American dream. So many of our neighbors face injustice and inequality. So many toil in intergenerational poverty and aren't provided the resources and support needed to reach their full potential. Marian Anderson said, "No matter how big a nation is, it is no stronger than its weakest people. And as long as you keep a person down, some part of you has to be down there to hold him down. So it means you cannot soar as you might otherwise." The world has not seen a United States of America where every single American has the ability to live their best life. Imagine the possibilities of what we can accomplish if that was true today. We have the resources and the wealth to do this, and it is the right thing to do. That's why we will not rest until we truly are a nation that treats all its citizens equally and provides opportunity equally, that starts with a government that invests in the people, all the people, a country that empowers us, all of us, to innovate, a country where everyone willing to work hard can earn a good living and raise a family, a country where a young child from Lebanon can get an education and chase his dreams, a country where everyone can live a healthy and safe life and change the world for the better. We can do this. We get there working together, side by side, arm in arm. It's going to be an amazing journey. Thank you.
Next up, I want to invite Dearborn Mayor Abdullah Hammoud to say a few words and welcome us to his city.
Good evening. Wassalamu alaikum. Welcome to the greatest city in the whole country, the city of Dearborn. First one, thank you so much. Any elected that did not clap, please don't call me for a donation. I saw you. I was waiting for the paid for by, which campaign when Nasser finished his speech, but we'll leave that for a different day. You know, I have had the privilege of working alongside ACRL for some years now. And over my last 14 months as mayor, I've had a different perspective and been able to see them through a different viewpoint. We often see ACRL on the front pages of our newspapers. Channel 4, Channel 7 covering their press conferences, and you see the strong advocacy that typically happens at a podium behind a microphone where the lights are on and the cameras are watching. But what I've been able to see is that when the doors are closed, when the cameras are gone, ACRL is in that room and is advocating just as hard and as tenacious as you see them when the cameras are on. And that's far more important. And I'll tell you why. Because when they're in those rooms, they're not cowering to the talking points that they have at a podium. They're actually doubling down. They're willing to hold accountable not only institutions and organizations, but elected officials and appointees of the highest office in the land, and that speaks volumes. And so what I want to do today is thank ACRL for all the work that you have done that we know about, but more importantly, all the work that you have done that we are not aware of, because oftentimes the hardest work happens in those rooms when the doors are closed and the cameras are not watching. And so congratulations on another successful year to the ACRL. We wish you many more years of success, because as long as ACRL is around, that means that we have a champion for civil rights prepared to fight and go the distance day in and day out. Thank you all so much, and I hope you have a great night.
Thank you, Mayor Hammoud. And speaking of TV stations and newspapers, I appreciate never having to call your office over a scandal. You've done great work. So ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce ACRL founder and board member attorney Nabeed Ayad. Now this is the second year in a row I've been told to tell you to behave and keep it G-rated.
Thank you, Alex. You probably got that information from Mr. Nasser Bey. Uh, in all sincerity, we appreciate each and everything that all of you here are tonight. Friends, colleagues, community, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight and celebrating our 11th magnificent year. One person cannot do it alone. I want to thank our executive director, Mayim Sharara, for her hard work and doing such a great job. Please give it up for our executive director, Mayim Sharara. She's amazing. She's been doing a wonderful job. And she just doesn't realize what's ahead and all the wonderful work that she does. I also want to thank my brother, Chairman Nasser Beydoun, for all his leadership. Please give him a round of applause. I want to also congratulate our awardees tonight. If you know anything about ACRL, we don't just hand out our awards like pancakes. Truly don't. If you get an award from ACRL, it's truly a prestigious award. We look for the absolute prominent candidates that can fulfill our mission, and we are truly appreciative of those individuals that have succeeded tonight. Brother Marvin, I love you, man. I appreciate you. I can't present the award for you because there's others that are presenting this award, but you know what you did from day one, 11 years, you've been at the forefront for ACRL, from day one, our board member. So thank you, and I love you, and I truly appreciate our friendship, my friend. Thank you. I want to acknowledge our brother, Deputy Director of the FBI, to the world. You know, some people don't just understand that, Paul. They take you a little bit for granted, but you are the Deputy Director of the world. When I was in Paris, I seen your picture come up, you know, and I'm like, damn, Paul, I texted you, I said, you're like the four possible replacement of Comey. And I said, you're going a lot of places. But our dear brother, Paul Abadi, is here from Washington, D.C. Thank you, Paul. We wanted you to be here. You were here. You changed some schedules around. We truly appreciate you. And you know, please clap, yes. And I think from a civil rights individual to a government individual, I think all our governmental agencies have a lot to learn from this man. They truly do. He is loved across the what's it called. And, you know, he keeps indicting our ass, but it's okay because it's Paul Abadi. You know, so we love him for all that he does. We love him for his leadership and what he does. So thank you, Paul, for being here tonight. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate I know that Nasser said this tonight, and I'm going to reiterate because Nasser, you stole half my goddamn speech, man. Like, we have our board members, so I want our board members, please stand up again. Honestly, these individuals, please stand up, our board members. These individuals do so much to everyday tackle. They take time from their busy schedules to make these things happen. And you've been on this journey with me from day one in 11 years. Some of you have been there from 11 years. We appreciate you. We love you. We appreciate all that you do in all sincerity. I want to thank our underwriters, Team Wellness Center, and Specialty Clinic Center this evening. I want to especially thank my dear brother, Tony Policello. Yeah, please clap for Tony Policello. You know, very few times in life you run across an individual that truly you are blessed. You know that have you crossed his path. And Tony, I am truly blessed in sincerity to cross your path, my friend. You have showed us that the kindness and sincerity that you show for everyone around you and think of others before you is a true blessing. And we love you and appreciate you. We will never forget what Tony Policello has done for this community and it continues to do for this community. So thank you, my friend. And I'm blessed to call you as a friend. I want to also thank our dear brother, Yusuf Al-Madrahi. Where is he? Where's Yusuf at? Thank you, Yusuf. He's been such a supporter of this community. And don't you let his age fool you. This guy's going places, and I call him the young Benjamin Franklin, but he's going a lot of places. Thank you, Yusuf, for your support and love and support of this ACRL organization. All right. Maybe I should take my glasses out. It was the great author, the statesman, and leader in the abolishment movement in the 1850s, Sir Frederick Douglass said, "Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did and it never will." At ACRL, we know firsthand that this is the exact truth, every day. In other words, justice is never given, justice must be taken. We know that full well in the ACRL. ACRL will always speak truth to power. We just don't talk the talk, we walk the walk. Whether it be in the boardrooms, town halls, media, or in the courts, we always fight to protect this community. ACRL is a force to be reckoned with. We respect our neighbors, we respect the judiciary, legal and political process, but we will never settle for the short end of the stick. Why should we? As home to the largest concentration of Arab Americans outside of the Middle East, we have over 500,000 strong in the southeastern region of Michigan alone. We demand our respect. We've earned our respect. The Arab Americans per capita is the most educated, most wealthiest nation in the world. And we don't have to apologize to anyone for that. The Arab Americans are embedded in the fabric of great accomplishments in this nation's development from every occupation, from Steve Jobs that brought you the iPhone to the Apollo mission. Arab Americans have played a vital role. So we will not stand to continue to be treated like second-hand citizens in our government's weaves that it treads an injustice against this community. We will not tolerate the no-fly list and the so-called terrorist watch list. We will not tolerate when we board our planes at the airport and to be treated like second-hand citizens. Our Supreme Court has said there's nothing more damning than associating someone with terrorism and child molestation. To our government, this is not just a simple inconvenience at the airport to our Arab American brothers and sisters. It's far bigger than that. I asked the government, how would you take it as someone associated you with being a terrorist? What would you tell your kids? How would you explain to the children that your dad is being questioned because the government is associating him with terrorism? What does that do to a child or a family member? Let's talk about a business associate. How far would this individual grow in the corporate ladder when you're associated with terrorism? This is what the terrorist watch list does, and this community must be protected in that essence. It serves no purpose but to harass and cause a break in the trust between the citizens of this nation and the government. If you think about it, when I was chair of the Detroit-Wayne Airport Authority, overseeing the operations of Detroit Metro and Willow Run, we had an Arab American as chairman of the Detroit-Wayne Airport Authority. We had a building named after an Arab American. We had the head of Delta, our partners, the biggest airline in Detroit, an Arab American. Yet still we don't have any respect and be treated as second-hand citizens. And I tell you, enough is enough. Our government must end this abusive, discriminatory, and unconstitutional harassment of Arab Americans across this nation. ACRL has changed the no-fly list. We succeeded in changing the no-fly list. We succeeded in changing the banking closures of Arab Americans have made new law in this region of the country. But we still have a ways to go. With the watch list, we challenged it on every front, and we continue to challenge it. You can mark my words, and history will show that discriminatory list will eventually be struck down. We know, like everything in history, we need to keep knocking on that, pushing on that door. Whether it be Brown versus Board of Education, until they bust that door right open. And Arab Americans will be there. And the ACRL will be there. We need to remind our judiciary to be courageous, side on the right side of history, and strike down these horrible practices by our government. Little by little across the nation, it's starting to happen. And it will eventually happen, maybe tomorrow, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not a month from now, maybe not a year from now, but it will happen. And the ACRL will be right there in the heart of the fight, assuring that it happens. So brothers and sisters, continue your support. Without you, we can't keep our doors open. I volunteer my time. Nasser volunteers his time. The accomplished ACRL board volunteers their time. And I can assure you, our board members are extremely busy. But they find time to do God's work each and every day. We ask you, especially those that are successful, many of you are successful in this room, to help ACRL and the NAACP Justice Night event co-chairs, State Kathleen McCarthy. Kathleen McCarthy, please if you could stand up, Kathleen McCarthy, and be recognized for your wonderful support. Thank you, Judge Kathleen McCarthy. And we also have co-chair with her federal judge, Linda Parker. That's part of our co-chairs for the ACRL, NCB. I don't know if Judge Parker is here tonight, but again, we want to recognize for her services. And again, the idea is that they've been volunteering and do every day God's work. So we appreciate you, Judge McCarthy, and Judge Parker, and all of this what you do. Lastly, I will end with this. As one of our great civil rights leaders in this country, my brother, Reverend Wendell Anthony, have said, when you get yourself out of that hole, you have a God-given right to put your hand back in the hole, pull another brother out of that hole. You help your fellow man. This is our duty as a civilized society and a loving society. And I want to thank you. God bless you. And I know Cappuccino Man is here tonight, and he's wonderful with his cappuccinos, and he's putting the ACRL logo on his cappuccino thing. So thank you all for being here. God bless you.
Now, I want to remind everybody you can follow along with the program by using the QR code, scanning that with your phone so you know what's coming up next. Now, I want to talk about our second underwriter, Specialty Medical Center. Specialty Medical Center prides itself on patient care and rehabilitation services. Specialty's primary care focus is developing a customized treatment plan unique to each individual patient's needs. Specialty centers offer a full range of patient care from diagnostic testing, pain management, orthopedics, regenerative medicine solutions, and surgical care. Specialty Medical Center utilizes the most current and up-to-date, minimally invasive treatment strategies for its patient care. Now please direct your attention to the monitors for a short clip.
An overwhelming number of people deal with pain at least once in their lifetime. For example, about 80% of adults in the US will experience back pain at some point in their life. Unfortunately, for many of those people, today's go-to solutions for chronic pain, such as pain medications or traditional surgery, don't always have the desired results. America's opioid crisis is out of control, claiming a life every 7 minutes. Over 81,000 American people died last year from overdose. It has affected people from all walks of life. The opioid crisis is out of control. There is a clear need for a non-pharmacological chronic pain management solution that is not only more efficient, but also longer lasting than traditional solutions. That is where Specialty Medical Center comes in. At Specialty Medical Center, we've developed a unique approach to healing that relies on alternative options to ensure the desired results without the need for surgery or depending on pills. We utilize modern technology and the latest advancements and discoveries to heal our patients through non-invasive and non-pharmacological methods, including alternative procedures and therapy.
You really don't have to deal with a lot of medication, which I really don't. It's every now and then, but it's been working really fine for me, and I'm going to continue to keep going through the treatments.
Our methods, rooted in regenerative medicine, allow us to discover and treat the root cause of the pain instead of just treating the symptoms or masking them with drugs. Some of the procedures available to our patients are bone marrow and stem cell treatments.
We also do here at Specialty regenerative medicine, where we aspirate bone marrow with a specialized technique to concentrate the mesenchymal stem cells as well as the bone marrow stem cells to facilitate patient's own inner healing.
The patients can come in the morning for the procedure and go home in the afternoon. We also provide wave therapy that offers immediate pain relief, ensuring that as they are leaving the clinic, our patients already feel better.
Coming into Specialty has changed my life dramatically. I have felt so much better walking out of a pain management.
At Specialty Medical Center, we prefer to give our patients' bodies a chance to do the work themselves. Our bodies are nature's most advanced inventions that have the ability to fix themselves, and we are there to give them everything they need to do so, keeping our patients pain and pill-free. The most important force that drives us at Specialty Medical Center is the well-being of our patients, including those that can't or do not want to rely on traditional solutions, mainly surgery or drugs.
It was a good alternative to do the shockwave because I do not like taking pills.
What we do has the power to transform our patients' lives, and that knowledge inspires us to innovate and create new solutions that ensure our patients' satisfaction.
When we see a patient that's in that condition and we offer them modalities they have never experienced before or have heard of, and it ends up helping them complete activities of daily living, but not only that, enjoying their life, it is probably the most rewarding part of my career.
By giving our patients' bodies the power to heal themselves, we are using modern technology and medicine to heal not just humanity and future generations, but every generation. Join our cause and help Specialty fight the drug epidemic in our communities. It is time to save lives. It is time to protect the public's health. Specialty Medical Center, alternative care for lasting results.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for award presentations. Now, our nation is in the middle of a mental health crisis. We've seen it play out in our communities, in our schools, and even in our places of worship. Now, ACRL deeply views the access to mental health treatment as a basic civil and human right. Our first award recipient is being honored for his work in providing underserved communities with mental health treatment and care. It's my pleasure to introduce ACRL board member and NAACP Detroit president and civil rights icon, the one, the only, Dr. Reverend Wendell Anthony, to introduce the Civil Rights Achievement Award.
Let me say good evening to everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Word up. I know y'all want to eat, but we want to greet just for a few more minutes. How many of you in here have ever founded anything, that you started something where there was nothing? Raise your hand if you did. Some people have. That means that when you found something, you got to have vision, you got to have money, you got to have time, you got to have energy. Nabiya Yard founded the ACRL. He founded it, he created it out of the necessity to bring justice and fairness and equity to your community. That means he spent time, his money, and his effort to do something that he was not asked to do, but something that he was inspired to do. Give him a hand for the work that he has done for this community on your behalf. Doesn't get paid to do it, didn't ask me to say that, but it is so important for you to recognize that. Because one day you may need the ACRL. You may need them to advocate for you. You may need them to stand up for you. I always tell people when they leave home, don't leave home without 2 C's. In the Christian community, one is JC, that's Jesus Christ. The other one is the NAACP, that's the National Association for Advancement of Colored People. Don't leave home without either one of those. In your community, it's the ACRL. And so we want to thank Nabi for his vision, for his work, and all those who work with him. I have the pleasure to present this award to Anthony Tony Policello. And some people may say, well, why is he getting a civil rights award? Because he's dealing with mental health and wealth. He's in the healthcare field. Well, in case you did not know, there were physicians that helped Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. stayed in the home of a doctor in Selma, Alabama by the name of Sullivan Jackson. He refueled them. He provided resources for them. Some of you might remember Claude Young, who was the head of SCLC in this community, Southern Christian Leadership Conference. He aided through resources and materials the struggle to continue. If you go back, Dr. Ossian Sweet, who in 1925 stood up because he wanted to move into an area in the city of Detroit that heretofore did not have a lot of black people in there. And through that case, when they hired Clarence Darrow, the NAACP, it became a case that was a model for the rest of the nation. And we commemorate him. So we commemorate and we acknowledge Anthony Policello. And there are many of you out here today that may not be on the front lines of the ACRL, but through your resources and through your support, you help this engine of civil rights to continue to go forward. Tonight, the ACRL is proud to present this important award of civil rights at a time when our nation in particular needs individuals and institutions that are prepared to stand up and to fight for the truth, integrity, and rights of all of us, whether we are physically or emotionally challenged or economically and socially disadvantaged. This must be done regardless of race, gender, station, education, or location. Tony Policello is a CEO who is concerned about people. He believes what he says when he says provide great service first and worry about how it is going to be paid for or funded later. So often that is just the opposite in political decision making. While some folks needing health care are stuck underneath the ever-dropping guillotine, hoping for help, Tony Policello moves to pull them from underneath and to provide them with the care they truly need. With a degree in engineering and much success in the steel trades, Tony Policello has engineered a team called Wellness for over 25 years. He has forged a reputation getting the job done and brought together a team of executive committee, clinical directors, medical staff, social workers, and more. From the grassroots to the professional fruit, he has grown this organization from a group home to a multifaceted, integrated community. Success in the healthcare area has been a part of his MO. Martin Luther King Jr. said it well. No individual or nation can be great if it does not have a concern for the least of these. In championing the cause of elevating the most vulnerable of our state's citizens, many who suffer from developmental disabilities, mental illness, substance use disorders, lack of achievement in education, while yet existing in a poverty-stricken condition, Tony Policello works to change their position. Even mental health authorities, state and county officials have said, and commercial insurance providers, and recognizes the contributions of importance of the team that he has built that both practices and advocates wellness. He is one who has a passion and stays on a mission for the people. He serves, even though politically he and I are on the opposite sides. We on the opposite side of the political aisle. We are on the same side, centered on help for the neglected, support for the rejected, and committed to those who are protected and projected to be lost, thrown away without the care and concern that must come their way. The great mystic and philosopher Rumi Jaludin once said, "You show your worth by what you seek." Tony Policello shows his worth because he seeks fairness, wholeness, wealth, and help for all people. He seeks justice and equity of opportunity from wherever you are and to whoever you may be. So tonight, the ACRL proudly chooses Anthony Policello to receive the 2023 Civil Rights Achievement Award. Tony, why don't you join us on the stage?
All right. Thank you, thank you. You have no idea how incredibly awkward I feel to get a reward of this type of award from one of the true lions of the civil rights movement. You know, so all I can say is thank you to this incredible organization, thank you to Team Wellness, and all of you wonderful people. Thank you again.
I would like you all to turn your attention to the screen to hear a few words from Michigan's own Senator Debbie Stabenow.
Good evening. I really wish I could be there with you in person to celebrate the 11th annual Fight for Justice Gala. Thanks to the Arab American Civil Rights League for the crucial work you do to advocate for the Arab American community and our fight for justice. And a special congratulations to all of tonight's award winners. Here in Michigan, we're extremely proud to be a center of Arab American life in the United States. You don't need to look any farther than our wonderful Arab American National Museum to see proof of that. Our communities are incredibly diverse, which is wonderful, representing nearly every major religion with ties to countries around the world. And all of you are leaders in our community, healing the sick, upholding our laws, teaching our children, and creating jobs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been an honor for me to partner with you as we continue to stand up against hate and discrimination. We must ensure that Arab Americans receive equal justice under the law, and that people who commit hate crimes and violence are held accountable, period. Each one of you is contributing to our American story, and we are stronger for it. So, thanks again for being here tonight, and have a wonderful celebration.
Next up, I would like to introduce ACRL Vice Chairman Jim Allen to introduce our Lifelong Pursuit of Justice Award.
A lot of you know that Judge McCarthy and my brother David both served together on the Wayne County bench, and like Judge McCarthy asking Nasser if he could tell a joke, my brother asked me if I could tell some jokes up here, but I won't do that because typically when he goads me into doing something, it winds up with me in a bad position, maybe in a police car or something like that. So I won't do that, but I will give you all something to laugh about because I'm going to sing a little bit my introduction of my dear friend and sister Haifa Fakori. Last year, many of you know that I had the distinct privilege and honor of introducing Nader Fakori, introducing the award that we gave for Nader Fakori, and this year we're honored again to have another member of the Fakori family to give an award to. But I'll start it out like this, and you can all laugh at me later on. Nasser and Nabi will have another year of giving me grief over my introduction. But whatsoever you do to the least of my brethren, that you do unto me. When I was hungry, you gave me to eat. When I was thirsty, you gave me to drink. Now enter into the home of my Father. So I had to follow Reverend Anthony, and he alluded to St. Matthew in his remarks about doing for the least of our brethren. Haifa Fakori came to this country as a 23-year-old woman. I have a daughter who's 24 years old, and I have raised her to have the social conscience of a woman like Haifa Fakori. She has spent her entire life feeding the hungry, visiting the sick, visiting those and ministering to those who are in trouble and in prison, clothing the naked. Reverend Anthony referred to the 2 C's that he tells people to not leave home with, but we have the ACC, 2 C's, 2 additional C's that we can also tell folks that they should not leave home without when they are in need. Haifa, you are an inspiration to all of us, and 2 minutes of speaking is hardly enough time to express exactly how grateful we are for the work that you do for the least of our brethren, the people who no one else will help. And you've spent such a long time ministering to those people, and we love you for that. When we talk about the awards that we want to give and the people that we want to honor in front of all of you, it wasn't even a very difficult discussion. Haifa was proposed and unanimously chosen as our awardee tonight for a lifetime of pursuing justice and ministering to the least of our brethren. So Haifa, please join us, and everyone give a warm round of applause to Haifa.
Haifa Fakori is the President, CEO, and founding member of the Arab American and Chaldean Council. A graduate of Wayne State University, Fakori came to the United States from her homeland of Jordan in 1968 to pursue her academic goals. After graduating, she served as an international advisor to the United Nations Development Population, an international consultant on women and population policies in the Middle East region, and to the U.S. Agency for International Development. Fakori's strong leadership and keen vision towards community economic self-sufficiency and the actualization of human potential for newly arrived immigrants became her passion. Her experience as a sociologist, educator, and administrator enabled her to lead a number of supporters to establish ACC, a much-needed human service agency established to meet the growing needs of the Arab American community. Over the past 43 years, ACC grew from a single office in downtown Detroit to 40 outreach offices with a multi-million-dollar operating budget in the Tri-County area and in the state of Michigan. Fakhoury's academic and administrative leadership has also won her posts and appointments on several national, international, and state, local boards, advisory boards, and various commissions.
Ladies and gentlemen, Haifa Fakhoury.
Thank you. I am really honored to be here with you tonight, and I salute ACRL for their wonderful work. I think it's overall, really, it's great work, but what I want to say, you should be a role model for our national Arab American community. You should expand your services to go to other states where we have a large Arab American community. I dedicate this award in memory of my nephew, Nader Fakhoury, God bless his soul. And thank you again for the great work you are doing.
I would now like to introduce ACRL Board Secretary, Attorney, and Dinner Committee Chairwoman Mona Fadlala to introduce our Courage in Public Service Awards. Please welcome her.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's nice to see everyone here today. I couldn't make it last year because I had COVID, so I was so sad being at home last year, so this is wonderful. The person I'm going to introduce, again, 2 minutes is certainly not enough to say all the wonderful things I'd like to say about him. But he's been, Marvin Beatty has been a member of ACRL since it was founded, and he didn't even hesitate to join. He's a very high-spirited individual, and he's been here for 11 years with us. Been here longer, although he's been aging in reverse. I don't know if everyone has met him, but when he comes up here, you'll know what I'm talking about. He's had a long career in public and private management and economic development, but most importantly, he's a wonderful husband, or so I hear, to his lovely wife, Maxine. He's a father, a grandfather, and a great-grandfather, and that's really impressive. Again, wait till he comes up here. I like to call him ACRL's superhero. If I could give him a cape, it would say Marvelous Marvin on it. Yeah. And we are just so honored to have him as a board member. He's a friend to all of us, and he's one of those people that you just say, Marvin, we need your help. And he doesn't even ask questions. He just says when and where, and he's there. A true leader, indeed. We are so honored to award him for his courage in public service, not only for his time and his exemplary service to this organization, but he has served on so many organizations and put in just as much time. I don't know where that time comes from, but he does it. He just really does it all. His unyielding support and his advocacy work in countless organizations on behalf of those seeking equality and justice is just, I think, unmeasured by anyone else. And I will turn your attention to the screen now. I believe, is there a video? Okay, all right, thank you.
Marvin Beatty served for more than 22 years with the City of Detroit Fire Department. On January 1st of 1994, he retired from his position as Deputy Fire Commissioner. He was the first African American to hold that position in the department's history. Mr. Beatty then became the Executive Director at the Wadsworth Community Center in Detroit. He is a former shareholder of Greektown Casino and a former board member of the Greektown Casino Management Board of Directors. His community service includes board member for the NAACP, president of the Coleman A. Young Foundation Board, Downtown Detroit Partnership Board of Directors, Detroit Economic Growth Corporation, Detroit Riverfront Conservancy, Music Hall, and is on the trustee board of the Fellowship Chapel. From 1995 to 2010, Mr. Beatty served as chairman of the Board of Zoning Appeals for the City of Detroit. He is currently a board member of the Wayne County Airport Authority and a board member of the Rocket Giving Fund, the Detroit Grand Prix, and the Downtown Development Authority Board. Mr. Beatty has developed Gateway Marketplace in Detroit. It is a 350,000 square foot shopping center at 8 Mile and Woodward. It is the first major shopping development in more than 40 years. He is currently working with Magic Plus Development and developing a 20-acre site at the Old State Fairgrounds. This project includes retail development. Mr. Beatty is also a partner in Firm Real Estate, which owns approximately 20 properties in Eastern Market, Detroit, all being redeveloped.
Thank you and good evening. I am so honored to accept this award from the ACRL. As has been indicated, I was part of the beginning of the ACRL. I got my freedom fighting background from the NAACP. Reverend Anthony and I joined this board together 11 years ago because we knew that the partnership of civil rights has to extend beyond our own community, and that the only way that we can begin to respect each other's struggles is that we have to be part of the dream of being free, that we can separate ourselves from those who don't believe that we are entitled to a quality of life that all other Americans are experiencing. The ACRL is a champion to the people who are in the middle of struggle. And I stand with them categorically, uncategorically, standing for the power of freedom and justice for all people. Because where there is no justice, the people perish. So I stand in unison with all of you. I recognize my wife and my children who are here this evening to help to celebrate with me. because I am truly grateful for every single experience that I have been able to encounter, because the struggle continues. God bless you all. Power to the people.
The next woman I'd like to introduce is the Dearborn Magistrate and ACRL board member, Rola Un, to help ACRL and our community to pay a special tribute to a man that has given so much and helped so many in Metro Detroit. He's truly an unsung hero. Please welcome her.
Good evening. I'm going to ask that the video be played first, please.
Jaleel George Saad is a community activist, philanthropist, and independent business owner. He immigrated to the United States in 1962 to further his education. Trained as an engineer, he studied at Mississippi State University and earned his bachelor's degree from the Detroit Institute of Technology. His social awareness and civic accomplishments date back to 1963 when he met and marched with Dr. Martin Luther King. Since then, he has played a founding role in many Arab organizations, including Access, ADC, and Lebanese American Heritage Club, the Lebanese International Business Council, and Save Lebanon, a group dedicated to helping victims displaced during the 15-year civil war. In the broader community, he helped create Read for Life and the Corktown Group, a nonprofit housing development corporation in the city of Detroit. Since 1972, George, as he is widely known throughout the community, has been an active member of the Salvation Army and is currently an advisory board member for the Midwest region. In recognition of his service to the Salvation Army, they awarded him their highest honor, their 2003 Volunteer of the Year Award. Mr. Saad is also an advisory board member at his church, St. Mary's, and is an advisor to the Institute for Social Research at the University of Michigan.
It's Debbie. Thank you. Today we really do honor and recognize a remarkable man, George Saad. He's described by his friends as the spirit of the community, a thoughtful, gentle soul with the purest of hearts, one whose generosity is unparalleled. He's a man of quiet dignity and towering achievement with a down-to-earth human essence. During his lifetime, he committed himself to advancing his community through serving, giving, and enlisting support by example to a range of charitable causes. He opened doors for many and came to the aid of countless families and students in need. He's mentored generations and pioneered the Arab business movement in Metro Detroit, which continues to thrive today. George is a master in the art of selfless serving, yet his most distinctive characteristic is his pride and undying love of Arab culture and his persistence in embracing and preserving our heritage and traditions. George, we hope you're watching, and we hope that you would be able so that we can share this with you and to tell you truly that no amount of words can express our gratitude and appreciation to you for your service over the last 60 years. You're a role model like no other, and we will continue each day inspired by your example to never cease working for the betterment of others. You are a gift to us, and we love you and thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And if we could welcome George's children who are here with us, Yaqub and Victoria, to come up and take a photo and share in the honor.
On behalf of my father and my siblings, we'd like to thank you all so much for being here today. My father wishes he could be here, but he sends his kindest regards. And the message he'd like to send is that at his age, he's kind of slowing down. However, the new youth in the community are going to pick up and carry on where he's leaving off. And to remind everybody that civil rights is human rights. It extends to everybody, black, white, Arab, Muslim, Christian, Jew. And fighting for that community is the fight of our lives, and we can never stop. So thank you very much. We appreciate it, and God bless you all. Thank you.
I would now like to introduce Wayne County Commissioner and ACRL Board Member Sam Baydoun. Sam was just inducted into the prestigious Century 21 Dick Laughlin International Hall of Fame. Please welcome Sam to help ACRL and our community pay a special recognition to a woman who has been a true friend and a strong advocate for our community in Congress. Ladies and gentlemen, Commissioner Sam Baydoun.
Good evening. No jokes from this Baydoun. I'm not going to sing, I know. Assalamu alaikum jami'an. Peace be upon all of you. You know, I had some remarks prepared, but in the interest of time, I'm going to be extremely brief. As a friend and the federal political coordinator for Congresswoman Debbie Dingell with the Michigan Realtors in Washington, D.C., I will accept this honor on her behalf. She sends her best wishes. I spoke with her about 3 hours ago. She apologizes she couldn't be here. She's in session, and she sends her best regards. Thank you.
Now, I know some of you might be getting hangry. As you can see, the food is coming out now. I'm going to keep talking, though. So we want to thank one of our underwriters and our sponsors, invite them up to the stage, Specialty Medical Center, to say a few words. And ACRL does thank you so much for your support in everything that they do.
I know you guys are hungry. I promise this just should be it. Respected leaders, judges, mayor, and all the distinguished speakers. First of all, I want to thank ACRL for letting us be part of this amazing initiative. Many of you seen Yusuf fixing his suits, and the young man right there, one of our founder. You know, when I first asked him, why are we being part of this organization? And then he reminded the vision that we had together, that Muhammad, and you know, in the capitalistic society that we live in, we didn't want it to just make money. That's not our intention. Let us give back to the community. And how do we give back to the community is we're going to make a difference, not just in the medical industry, but when the opioid crisis is at high, how do we help people not just get addicted to drugs, but really help them through regenerative medicine, through modern science and technology. And this is where Specialty Medical Center comes in. And when he mentioned this, and I realized it does make sense, we're not just in a medical office working, we're actually making an impact in our community. And I would like to recognize ACRL because it's a collective effort. It's not something that you do just in the social justice level, but it's in every part of our life. So either you're working as a police officer or you're practicing medicine, you all are making ethical decisions. And I hope that collectively we can come together and make a difference in our community, and we can work together to make it better. And inshallah, God willing, we are going to continue in the path of justice. Thank you so much for letting us be part of this. Thank you, Mr. Baydoun, for honoring us and mentoring young Yusuf and all of us in here. And we want to thank all of you for being in here.
We now want to invite our second underwriter, Team Wellness Center, to talk about their mission and everything they've done to make ACRL's work possible.
How's everybody doing today? Thank you so much for this honor. Let me just say on behalf of Team Wellness Center, we are honored to be a partner to Mr. Ayad, who is a absolute soldier in justice. Team Wellness Center is committed to the fair treatment of all individuals for mental health and SUD treatment. We are proud partners with over 70 individual organizations, including the Pride of Dearborn Access, and so it is always our pleasure to be a part of anything that is Dearborn related. What some of you don't know is that Tony, who had to leave because he has a very long drive, is a 1969 graduate of Fortson High School and a very proud supporter. And so we are happy, and our corporate office will never leave the city of Dearborn, which I'm sure makes Mayor Hammoud happy. On behalf of Team Wellness Center, I think we had one agreement amongst us all. If there's anybody that is deserving of a Civil Rights Award, it is truly the man who is best serviced for civil rights, Mr. Ayad. It is an honor and a privilege, and the service that you provide is tremendous. And Mr. Beydoun, we hope we'll call you senator soon, and we'll definitely want your help. Thank you so much.
I would now like to call up Ms. Nadia Fadel-Bazi. Nadia has been a supporter of ACRL since its inception. She has been a tireless volunteer of her time and energy every year. Please welcome Nadia.
Good evening. It's an honor to be here with you all for the 11th Annual Fight for Justice Gala. And I would like to introduce our dignitaries and elected officials. Before I do that, I just couldn't help but reminisce on my first encounter with Mr. Nabi Ayad. So right out of law school, my first job was at his law firm. I worked there for 2 weeks, and in that time I learned that I did not want to practice law. But that was only because I ultimately got another job at ADC. And the moral of this story is, regardless of what industry you're in, whether you're working for a civil rights organization, you're working in the legal field, you're working in corporate America, in business, in education, whether you're an elected official, government, we all can make a difference to fight for our Constitution and advocate for the rights of all people. At this time, I would like to welcome and thank our dignitaries, elected officials, and of course, each and every one of you for being here. We have Mary Ebeljoud, Community Relations, the FBI, Mayor Michael Lando, the City of Westland, Judge Mike Giroux, 35th District Court, Dave Abdullah, Dearborn Heights City Councilman, Chairman, Judge Sam Salame, 19th District Court, Wayne County Executive Warren Evans, Judge Miriam Bazzi, 3rd Circuit Court, Wayne County Commissioner Irma Clark, Wayne County Commissioner Al Haydous, Wayne County Under Sheriff Mike Jaffer, Judge David Allen, 3rd Circuit Court, Judge David Perkins, Probate Court, Judge Jonathan Gray, U.S. District Court, Wayne County Commissioner Sam Beydoun, 3rd Circuit Court, Judge Don Knapp, Don Eisen, our U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Michigan, Irene Watts, Dearborn School Board Trustee, Dearborn Heights Councilman Mo Beydoun, State Senator Sylvia Santana, 3rd Circuit Court Judge Timothy Kenny, 3rd Circuit Court Judge Kathleen McCarthy, 19th District Court Judge Mark Summers, City of Dearborn Heights Councilman Hassan Ahmed. '46th District Court Judge Deborah Nance. Dearborn City Councilman Mustafa Hamoud. Chief Judge, 17th District Court in Redford, Karen Khalil. Wayne County Clerk Kathy Garrett. Michigan's 6th Circuit Court, Judge Yasmin Polis. Magistrate Rola Own, 19th District Court of Dearborn. Magistrate Mona Fadlala, 20th District Court, City of Dearborn Heights. And I just wanted to send Mayor Bill Bazzi's regrets. He would not have missed it. However, he is in Washington, D.C. currently advocating for water quality for our region. Thank you.
We're looking for Rose. She is the entertainment tonight. She's going to be playing the cello, and Kimberly Kilburn will be playing the piano. If you are out there, we're ready to hear you. Rock and roll. Good deal. Okay, they're here. Rose plays principal cello at the Dearborn Youth Symphony and attends Woodhaven High School. Accompanying her is Kimberly Kilburn. Her mother is also being recognized.
Before we start real quick, we have a couple of dignitaries that we failed to introduce. Yeah, Lawrence Al-Assal, magistrate in Dearborn, as well as David Turfey, the district court judge in Dearborn Heights. Adel Harp, our dear friend in the Wayne County Circuit Court, as well as our dear friend Chuck Stokes, who's here in the house. Please, Chuck Stokes, please stand up and please recognize our dear friend Chuck Stokes, who's always told the story, truth as it is. Another brother from the Channel 7 family, Simon Sheikha, is in the house. Simon, please stand up. He's always had the story. He's always told our story. Remember, if we don't tell our story and no one tells our story is not going to be played out. So we appreciate you, Simon. We appreciate you, Chuck. And we appreciate Alex and all the Channel 7 family. So thank you all. And please give them a round of applause for being here tonight and doing such a wonderful job.